Oh, no. Yes.
That's it.
Oh, there we go.
Good evening and welcome to the January 15th, 2026 Social Service Human Relations Board for the City of Alameda. But before the meeting gets started, I want everyone to know this meeting is being recorded. The chat function has been turned off. If members of the public would like to comment on an item, there are multiple options to do so. If attending via Zoom, digitally raise your hand and Secretary Manayan will announce when it is your turn. You will then have the option to unmute yourself and to proceed with your public comment. Email your public comment to Secretary Manayan at gmanahayon@alamedaca.gov before or during the meeting with your name, the agenda item number you're referencing, and your comment. Comments submitted during the meeting before the conclusion of the public comment section will be read into the record. Her email address is also on the meeting's agenda. If you're calling in by phone, please email Ms. Manayan as we cannot see you raising your hand. You can also dial *9 to raise your hand and we will call on you. To provide a public comment in person, please complete a public comment slip with your name and the agenda item number you will be speaking on. You will be called upon when it is your turn. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes. The public has 2 opportunities for public comments. First, under agenda item 2, public comments. Comments from the audience may concern matters not in the agenda, but must deal with matters subject to the jurisdiction of the Social Service Human Relations Board. Second, under each agenda item, there will be an opportunity for public comment on a specific item. Each item follows a format similar to the council meetings. First, after a presentation, we will ask if there are any clarifying questions from shrub members for staff. Then we will ask if there are any public comments on this agenda item. And finally, after public comment, we will open the item up for board discussion and a vote if recommended. The meeting is now called to order at 7:04 p.m. Let us proceed to roll call. Robbie Kreitz, she's absent, and also I want to mention there's going to be a new person starting next month. Board member Chantel Carter, and we'll save the introduction until she's here next week. She's also absent. Bernie Wolf here. Gerald Bryant here. Michelle Buchholz for now. Samantha Green
here.
And Scott Means here. We have a quorum of 4 people. All right. We also have with us tonight from the Housing and Human Services Division, Ressa Manayan, Program Manager, and Shelby Neal, Administrative Specialist, and possibly attending virtually, Camille Rodriguez. Is that? Yeah, okay,
Yes.
great. Welcome. All right, we will now be moving on to item number 2, non-agenda public comments.
Okay.
The city welcomes speakers providing public comment, but please be advised this is a limited public forum. Comments from the audience may concern matters either on or not on the agenda, but must deal with matters subject to the jurisdiction of the Social Service and Human Relations Board. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Comments concerning matters on this evening's agenda will be heard when that item is called. If speakers fail to follow these rules, they will be warned, and if they continue to disregard the rules, their opportunity to speak will end. So, do we have any speakers for item number 2?
Yes, we do. We have Corinne Kirschenbaum.
All right, welcome. Go ahead, you can start your time.
So, I formally want to express my deep disappointment and concern regarding the board's conduct, treatment of public testimony, and apparent disregard for the community welfare responsibilities you are entrusted to uphold. At my first meeting, I used my allotted 3 minutes to speak about serious and ongoing issues involving homeless services in Alameda, the village of Love, and millions of dollars in unaccounted public funds designated for vulnerable residents. I came not as an adversary, but as a longtime Alameda resident, former educator, taxpayer, homeless, myself, and a whistleblower. Sorry, I lost me. Um, uh, Raising documented concerns about the well-being of unhoused individuals and the integrity of public oversight. What followed was not engagement, curiosity, or due diligence. I was cut off. No board member asked a single question. No one requested additional information. No one followed up. No follow-up occurred. Instead, I was treated as a nuisance rather than a constituent. I was given hostile looks when entering subsequent meetings. I was passed over when requesting to speak. And most disturbingly, my public comments were omitted from the official meeting minutes. This is not a procedural oversight. This is suppression of public record. Under California Brown's Act, public bodies are required to provide meaningful opportunity for public comment and to maintain accurate records of public proceedings. Meeting minutes are not curated summaries. They are the legal documentation of public process. When a board omits public testimony from the official record, it effectively erases a resident's attempt to alert a city advisory body to potential harm occurring under municipal contracts. That decision communicates one thing clearly: that uncomfortable information will be excluded rather than examined. Your board's state purpose is to 1, identify and report social services needs. 2, promote social welfare initiatives. 3, foster understanding and respect among community groups. 4, inform agencies of unmet needs. 5, advise city council on social services matters, including homelessness. Yet when presented with credible concerns about homeless service practices, lack of transparent oversight, and conditions that place vulnerable individuals at risk, the board chose silence, dismissal, and exclusion.
I want to thank you for your comments. We have hit the 3-minute mark.
I'll post this.
Okay, so that's,
And
yes,
I'm not gonna stay because the rest of it is all a bunch of nonsense. You guys don't know what you're doing. You have no
Thank
clue. No clue
Thank you,
what it is going on out there.
Thank you.
And that mayor is going to jail.
thank you.
Did you hear that, Carolyn? You're going to jail. And if you weren't looking included, I'm sure that real good care.
So,
Real. You realize it? Oh.
she was so close, almost made it through without, yeah.
so we're gonna move on to item 3.
Do we have any more public comment?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, do we have? Thank you. Do we have any more public comments?
We do not have any public comment for this item.
Okay, thank you. We can now look at item 3, the review and approval of minutes for December 1st, 2025. I'll put forth a motion to approve the minutes.
I read them, I approve. I'll flip out.
The second?
Second, yeah.
Okay, we have first and second. Since we're all in the room, we can just do
I have to stay every day.
oh, so we can't actually approve the
Oh,
minutes
that's right, yeah.
because we don't have a quorum of people who are at the meeting. Is it possible that, could we table this and revisit when Michelle comes back?
From the last meeting.
Yeah, because he can't approve the minutes if he wasn't there, Michelle was. So, can,
I shouldn't have a birthday like that.
Yeah, so we'll approve December's and January's at the next.
at the next meeting, okay.
Or we can, if Michelle comes shortly, then you can come back to this again.
Okay, sounds reasonable. All right, All right, so we'll move on to item 4. To discuss Season for Nonviolence partnership with Alameda Collaborative for your children and youth and their families, otherwise known as ACCYF, and the Youth Advisory Committee, otherwise known as YAC. In the past, the AUAH committee has collaborated with ACCYF's Youth Advisory Committee to host an event commemorating the Season for Nonviolence. The Season for Nonviolence is a 64-day period observed between the anniversaries of the death of Muhammad Gandhi on January 30th and Martin Luther King Jr. on April 4th. The goal of the event is to promote peace and nonviolence in the Alameda community. The AUAH will discuss ideas for cross-committee collaboration, how to promote the event, and overall vision based on best practices from previous years. The event will be held the last week in March of 2026. And it says here we have a conversation facilitated by Gerald.
Yes. So, I've been doing the Season for Nonviolence for the last 2 or 3 years now, and it's always been a high point for me as part of being on the board, because you get to see a large representation of young folks who are actually promoting nonviolence. They're talking about the subjects that matter to them, and the speech contests really ring home some truths that most people don't know. And when you hear them, it's very poignant. For me, there have been times when I've been brought to tears, just how powerful some of their speeches were. They were really good. And so this year we're going to be doing similarly. We're going to have the ACCYF with the students. I believe I did not find out the information on the readings. Normally, we would have a reading for each day of the week for Season of Nonviolence, which are essentially readings from different great Nobel Peace Prize winners, and they usually touch on different subjects such as beloved community, courage, believing, and simplicity. They work within each of these different areas to describe what is actually important that this person was representing. And so it's really a nice thing. The mayor generally will do one whenever there's a city council meeting. They do them in school, I think on a daily basis. Every day there's a new one, or I believe it's every day. They do one at the schools, so they'll hear a new word of the day and learn something new about Nobel Peace Prize winners. And it's really a wonderful program. I believe that last year, we didn't have as many students as we did this year, the year before, but they were still powerful. And so hopefully this year, the ACCYF will bring in some more of the young folks for it, and I'll be looking forward to it. And I will leave it at that. If you have questions, I can delve deep. Usually I'm kind of trying to leave that part for everybody to ask questions on, but I can tell you what the process looks like if you want.
What is the date again?
The last week, the 25th, okay.
Yeah, so they have,
Saturday, right, yeah.
Shelby and I were able to attend their last meeting, what is that? Yeah, is it youth advisory or youth advisory? Okay, so youth advisory committee, and they want to have it on a Wednesday because that's when they get out early. They felt like they would have more of a turnout than on a weekend when a lot of the kids have plans or other activities going on. And they wanted to make it an open mic, so not just limited to poetry. And they have ideas about the list of clubs they want to invite. They want to do different tables. They still want to do it at the Healing Garden, and they're looking for a partnership for you all, similar to what Gerald has done previously in terms of judging and then also promoting.
It's a wonderful opportunity to see the folks doing it, and I'm interested. They actually wanted to do the open mic styles as opposed to doing the one here in City Hall.
What do you mean?
Normally they would have the speech contest at the end of the program, and the speech contest would be done over here in City Hall.
Oh, I thought that was at the Healing Garden last year.
No, that was the poetry slam that we did for the year before, for the United Against Hate Week in September.
And so last year it was at City Hall.
Yes, last year we had the, yeah, we had the adults and we had the young folks, and we did it.
Is that the one where there was only like a few people?
Yeah,
I can ask them. They mentioned the Healing Garden.
I really appreciate the sentiment because that was what I had always hoped for, but we should get some clarification from them just to make sure.
Pretty clear, they kept saying.
They like that.
Cam is the.
Yeah, that's where they're.
Cam is the one who's like chose their advisor on the staff, on our staff, which is a Healing Garden, so that's what they're doing.
So on Wednesday, when would they start?
I believe 4 p.m.
Yeah, it'll be early enough. They'll have time to.
March
send up-
25th at 4 p.m.
Some will still be up by the time we finish, or just
Yeah.
coming down, right? And so this should be fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
I think they were going to have, I remember from the meeting, tables. Food.
Yes.
Oh, that's right, you were there too, Bernie.
Yeah.
Do you wanna give your summary?
Similar, but, the idea of the open mic was not just open mic, but they were gonna try to find some people of interest to speak. They were gonna, there's some kind of, process they were doing to involve people, sort of games and, some kind of stuff. But it really was quite, they were quite, and quite well thought out. And really, one of the issues was the timing. When, because schools get out different times. So I don't know what the fall was gonna be, but they're also interested in domestic violence, which is why I was there.
Right.
Doing stuff with that, so. But so I'm not sure what they're gonna get back to us or what they're gonna do.
About which piece?
Tabling.
Yeah,
So their marching orders were for their next meeting, they're gonna have a run of show, start coming up with some sort of, program. And then a list of the different clubs they wanna invite to table. So they were trying to figure out if they wanna give them each like a theme for what the clubs wanna table, cause the Healing Garden's like that big space with the
Yeah.
stage, so. Yeah,
you could group fundraise by selling food, would that be allowed or not, and it's sort of mechanical. stuff.
So.
I mean, I think it's school, it's not.
So from what I understand, WABA is the owners of the Healing Garden. And they probably will either have already gotten in contact with them or will need to contact them in order to make sure that everything is secured. I know the lady who is the president of WABA, and we can reach out to her if we need to, if they need somebody to reach out to her. I'm sure I can reach out to her and let her know, but if they already have it, yeah.
right.
You did, awesome, okay, see, these are all good people. Okay, so yeah, that space, I don't know if you can sell things.
It's just that, but the issue was is the kids of that age like food. So
Yeah.
they're more likely to come if there's food there.
Yeah.
That's
We
what they do.
gave away food.
Non-violence is just, that's what they like.
We gave away food because that's generally, trying to sell $5 slices of pizza to kids is. That's not gonna fly, so. Yeah, giving food away, now you got them in droves, oh cow, you mean free pizza?
We can bring peace.
Sure can.
Do we have any, just to stop for a second, do we have any comments, public comments at all? Doesn't look like it.
We have no public comment. No public comment.
Okay, good. So I was just distracted. I just want this open in case. All right, so I think we can, do we have any more comments among the board? what can we do to help? Yes.
Yeah, be present. Come out and support as the board, the more, social services and human relations board they see, the more they can know us to be part of the community that they want to get to know.
Do we need judges again this year?
Yes, I believe we will need judges. I was asked to do judging, so I'll be doing judging. I don't know if.
Yeah, we need judges. I think so far they have one, which is true.
Have you talked to Kimmy? The poet laureate,
Oh,
a local poet laureate, has done stuff with us as well. She's really, really good, and she does spoken word and poetry, so I think she would be an excellent addition. And one, I can give you her email address.
yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Kimmy Sojikawa, if I said her name right. Very nice young lady.
Excellent. So our next agenda item is a presentation on point in time count. And
Yeah, so it doesn't look like Cam is here, so do you wanna skip to the next one and see if we can come back to that?
sure.
Okay.
Let's move to item 4C then, which is to review the progress on the 2025-26 shrub work plan. The City of Alameda Municipal Code states that one of the duties of the shrub is to adopt a plan for the performance of its delineated functions with advice and consent of City Council. Therefore, each fiscal year, the shrub meets to review and adopt a work plan. As the March 2025 shrub meeting, board members voted on and approved their 25-26 work plan, which received City Council approval on May 6th, 2025. It is recommended that the shrub evaluate their progress on the work plan goals. And I'm gonna turn it over to Gracia.
Great, so as you all just heard, your work plan was adopted in May. Your work plan follows the fiscal year, so you're about the midway point. I thought it'd be a good idea for us to revisit what you all set out to accomplish, and I have a couple of discussion questions to guide the conversation. And I pull it up now, let me just share screen. Building anticipation. Well, let me know I have this thing.
I'm sorry, wanna hide it?
How do I move this thing?
Oh, you just hide that meeting controls that in the bottom, floating meeting controls, that one there. There you go.
Okay,
Mhm.
great.
Hi.
Hello, Shirley.
Happy birthday.
Did you have a visitor?
Oh, yes.
Ma'am. Sorry about that.
Oh, well,
That's what we're here for.
we always welcome the community and
That's
everything
right.
is handled fine, so.
Yeah, but I.
They may not like us too much either in there, so thank you and Happy New Year. That was so nice.
Okay, so for this first section, you only recall that the community needs assessment a couple of years ago, you all had a really hands-on role in writing the needs assessment, essentially for our division. So this typically is not traditionally the role of the board, which you all are not a traditional board, you're a very active board. I think that you all should remain true to that spirit. However, the needs assessment has been absorbed by the staff. We think that that's appropriate. It's gonna guide what we do day to day. So we are having. A lot of this is being taken on by our staff, by myself, Cam, and Simone. We're having 3 stakeholder sessions with tons of groups that we've invited Scott and Sam to attend to be able to provide the perspective of Shrub. And we'll be having 3 stakeholder sessions to then inform our needs assessment. I'm working with a consultant who's gonna help us write it. And then that will then inform our next strategic plan. So check.
Okay.
Okay. Administrative, this is kind of interesting, we incorporated making a work plan into our work plan, which is fine, so I think that this we'll kick it off in a couple months, I think we said, Sam, maybe March, we'll start, great. Infrastructure is one that we haven't really talked about as much, but it's something that we have assigned to the president and vice president. Then we have CDBG, which you all have completed that, and the next round will not be until 2027, so. The next section is the road home, you'll note that you have, I'll give you, I'm sure that you've already read through all the materials, but just as a reminder, here are those goals in terms of. Again, the annual report that's being absorbed by the staff to create an annual report for vision. Partnering with community events, etc., cares. Network of volunteers, celebration. Then we have the UAH committee, of course, we know the resolution, which then was turned to a proclamation. After a lot of work and negotiations. We have different, again, community events, partnering with other jurisdictions and organizations. Being intentional about linking community events to address other issues. Excuse me. Hosting an event for United Against Hate Week. Just summarizing here as you all read. And then lastly, we have the Domestic Violence Committee, which focuses on collaborating with local agencies and organizations, collecting, posting domestic violence resources on the websites, a proclamation, a march, task force, etc. I realize I didn't print it for you all, I apologize, but I do have some of the guiding questions for us to discuss, so maybe I can just read it and then we can return if you all want to look back at the objectives. So the first question I have for you is, what is working well in terms of your work plan and how you're working through it? And what strategies should we continue using for the second half of the work plan timeline?
Actually, can we go back up to the first one, the community needs assessment? I just want to understand the flow of it, because so since it's changed, so. The blue area is stuff that staff is doing. I'm just trying to figure out what role we have in this.
So we are doing all of it. We have completely absorbed the task of creating a community needs assessment because that is going to inform our strategic plan, which informs our day-to-day and what we do, our programs, the roles and our scopes of work. Your role is more advisory.
Right, and I understand that, but I'm just wondering where in the reporting chain, like, would that plan go before, at what point would it go before this body? You know, because it's eventually gonna go to council, right?
Yeah.
So I was just trying to figure out where since we're not part of the actual developing of the plan, where we are in terms of the reporting process.
Yeah, so the planning, myself, Camille and Simone have created the plan in terms of how, in terms of timeline, the steps we're gonna take. We are now moving to, I guess, what you would call the data collection aspect, and you all are part of the data collection. So you're part of the stakeholder meetings, and I would like to present it to you for feedback. So the stakeholder sessions, the first two are going to be, I'm gonna get it wrong, quantitative data. So collecting information in terms of the community needs assessment, stakeholder session, getting feedback and information from different providers on the island, what you all are seeing and providing your expertise. So we're gonna have 3 stakeholder sessions. The first 2 are gonna be really focused on collecting that information. And then the third one, we're gonna present you all with a draft of the community needs assessment to be able to provide feedback.
That's the part, yeah, because I support this plan in terms of the staff doing stuff. This is not a pushback. I just wanted to, like, that part of it, like you said, we're an advisory board, so that
Yes.
oversight and being able to provide the input is
Absolutely.
important. I just want to make sure we're inserted there somewhere, so
Yeah.
thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, and the first stakeholder session is gonna be a lot of people, so it's gonna be people like at the executive level, or people who do like the work day to day and are more hands-on and interface with clients. And then the second and third will be, I think, smaller groups, which you all will be included on. So you will be part of the group that provides feedback to our draft.
And then we'll just plan to bring it back to the rest of the board at subsequent meetings. I guess we can use the word version, open up the questions. You wanted to do it on right here.
Yes.
Want to?
Yes.
I think, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So, yeah. Do we see, will we get to see, so previously, like, we've been able to see, like, what the primary and secondary data is gonna be collected before it gets collected? Will the board review that this time, or will the executive?
I'm not sure of your question.
So previously, like, we've been able to see what information will be collected so that we can make sure that we have enough information for the CPGB, like, decision making and grant. Well, is that part of the process this time?
No, it hasn't been part of the process, no. I can follow up with you about that if you'd be interested.
Okay.
I know that you have, that's your background, so I can definitely go back and see. I can get back to you about that, actually.
Scott, now we did.
Yeah, I'll be doing the meetings, yeah. I always like to look at things from the lens of like, is someone who doesn't know at all what we're talking about gonna be able to understand any of this? I always try to turn that on when I read it before it goes out, you know.
Yeah, so I see that Cam is here, she's more of the data person, I am like the narrative policy person that just talks, I guess. Cam, thank you for joining us, I'm gonna put you on the spot if you don't mind, are you there?
Yep, I am here. Sorry for my tardiness. My day has been crazy today.
Oh, oopsies, oh wait,
She's on mute.
no, she's unmuted.
Yeah.
I don't hear you, are you talking?
I am indeed talking.
Yes.
Yeah, you're.
Hello, can you hear me?
So this is an issue.
She is.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, she's on.
Hello,
Hello?
can you see she's talking?
Yeah, I am talking. I'm sorry. I don't.
Check your output device there.
Only one option.
Okay, yeah.
Is there some way I can call in via phone? I don't know if you can hear me. Hello? 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 Hello?
Is your remote control muted for the sound in here?
Hey Cam.
Yep.
Yay!
There we go. Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late. My day's been crazy.
Thank you so much for joining us. So there is, right now we are discussing, can you see my screen actually?
I can see your screen, yes.
So previously, the Shrub Board has been really involved in the community needs assessment, and so they're clarifying exactly what their goal is gonna be moving forward. I'm able to answer most of the questions, but there's a question around like data in terms of, have we decided what type of data we're collecting? I believe that we have like a rough list of what we want to collect, is that right?
So we're collecting data that we can get easily out of HMIS. And then we're also collecting some data or the same data for people who may not want to be entered into the HMIS system, which is the Homeless Management Information System that all homeless services agencies are required to use by HUD. So that data system collects certain different data points about people and the services provided to those individuals at any given time. So the data that we pulled from like the road home for the road home report and things like that are all data that we captured in HMIS.
Okay. And this reminds me that we are also going to be doing community service. So that's going to be another data point. But I do recall in terms of, because in addition to folks that are unhoused, I think we had more general city demographic data, right? So we had data around like, I do think that that was a point of discussion with the division manager, Simone, that we were gonna be a little bit more focused around what we specifically do. So even if we don't really work in education or provide those type of services, that's not really something we're gonna put into it. It's gonna be data more around the type of people that the services and the programs that we interface. I can see potentially like, maybe we provide like an overview, like at the beginning or somewhere, so there's like a snapshot of like what the city looks like in general. But I think the focus of like the core data is gonna be what Camille's referring to.
Yeah, but so like the only reason I would say that is the only concern I would have is because we have to use that data for the CPGB grant funding, which is not just specific to homeless or housing services, that it's more general and it goes to domestic violence, mental health services, things like that. That the previous reports have included indicators that would allow us to identify those as primary issues in the community. Right, so we had the information on how many domestic violence calls there were, information, so that I'm wondering if as a board will need to just develop a plan for supplemental data as we get ready for community.
So I do feel hopeful that a lot of that's gonna be captured in our conversations with the social service providers. Because we have a long list of people that we're inviting to provide their input and that we're going to be surveying in terms of like, what is a need? What are you seeing out there? I hear what you're saying around like, but you're talking more like census or like, because a lot of what was in the previous report was census data for what, it was AUSD data, census data. I don't remember the other.
Police, fire, and then social service providers, we requested directly from them.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make a note of that to make, because the way that I'm thinking about it, I feel like it's covering the areas that we have typically seen over the last 5 years, the type of the requests that we get. But yes, that was my long way of saying, I think we're okay, but I'm gonna make sure.
Just as
Yeah, it's a good.
before we get like too far down the road and take it off of our plate to make sure that we have that information.
Yeah, and I do think that you're still gonna have like checkpoints that if there's like a big glaring gap, you will have the opportunity to say there's a big glaring gap.
Thank you.
Well, actually, since we've asked about it, is there any other public comment that we have? We can still ask more questions after that. Okay. Was there anyone else on or?
There
No,
is no other.
okay,
There is no public.
all right, so we sort of look at one thing, I don't remember, hold on, I wanna make sure everyone else has an opportunity to look at the structure too, is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Oh, you had those other questions,
Yeah,
sorry.
we have questions because, you know, I mean, that is obviously a big item that you all are referring to, but you also have like a ton of objectives that you all, that were like action items that you wanted to hit. One of the recommendations that I thought was a great idea that Sam made was in addition to, you know, showing you the action items that you all has said you'd like to accomplish, you have your calendar of like your regular events. So as like a snapshot of what are the commitments you are already having on it.
Can I go back and ask a couple more questions?
Yes,
Not about it's just about the pit count and the road home stuff.
Yeah, so we're gonna have Cam present on that. Is it okay if we hold off until that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are we discussing your questions or what?
I was hoping so.
Yeah.
So let me just say from my standpoint, I'm the work group. So, and I don't know if one of the other new board members is gonna join me or not. But so,
Yes, Robbie, actually, my conversation with her, she said that she was the most interested in your work group.
okay,
That's one of the 2 new members.
okay, but up until now, it's just been me, so. And I think you know what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And it's mostly been centered around getting information out. And working with the task force, which I think is the most important aspect of everything that's done here for me in terms of the domestic violence. And some of the other things that were out there, like marches and resolutions, were never really anything I had much to do with, but when Cindy was there, that was kind of her passion. So if somebody else wants to do them, it's fine, but I really think the main focus is where it should be, on the task force and on the, and that what kind of spins out of the task force in terms of like the meeting, the reason I attended the ACCYF meeting, was it last week? Which I can't remember, was to ask, youth about domestic violence. And we found that there was, through Alameda Family Services, there was something going on we didn't know about. And there was a group, and they were very interested, and sort of, maybe they could be part of the task force if we changed the meeting times. So that's kind of been my focus, and the rest of it, it's not being accomplished, but I don't really think it's very important right now.
I'm just taking those photos.
I'm not saying it's not important, it's just not a priority.
I think one of the things I was thinking when I was talking about the pet count on the road home was I think maybe we wanted to pivot for our road home committee too.
Oh, I see.
Do you know, does that make sense? So I think like, because people weren't so interested in our presentations on the road home reports. And I feel like we kind of have a missed opportunity for providing information to the community when the pit count data comes out. So we'll go back to that. But I feel like that's a good opportunity for us to do outreach, and maybe pivoting to outreach around that data when that data becomes available might be helpful, and to partner with community groups. That might be more engaging for community members than a road home presentation. Pivoting to that kind of outreach and engagement.
Okay. As you welcome. So right now we're talking about there's a checkpoint around the work plans. So I don't see, so I see here you all have put develop a plan to engage the community in regional crisis and homelessness. Community events, understand. Here's. So which, can you say that one more time in terms of what you're, like what the pivot that you'd like to, that you're suggesting?
That the outreach is less around like road home and more around just generalized outreach, like information about. Particularly like the data around the pig count and like what's. That might be more, and that might be since we're no longer in charge of like overseeing the road home and that's being done internally, that maybe like our work group pivots as well, right? If that makes sense.
There is this, I'm so jumping in, I'm sorry if this is inappropriate. The one thing that we're talking about possible pivots or things you want to focus. I would really like to focus on overdose prevention. given that I don't think the coroner report is out, but there is an Alameda man that passed due to an presumed overdose. And I'd love to partner with Alameda Fire. There's some other state and local organizations on how we can kind of do some PSAs. I just want every high school student also to have know how to use Narcan and kind of think about how we can frame that as way of like everyone knows CPR, like everyone should know how to do this as a life-saving measure. And as we think of like social justice or social inequity of just how can we save more people's lives? And this feels like a really low-hanging intervention just to teach people how to do it.
So it's a great idea. So my experience has been with the essays and videos and stuff is that I was working with the mayor on a domestic violence videos. And I'm trying to track down where they're at. Okay. Apparently one of them is going along, the other one nobody's heard from. That's the issue you run into it, and it's all the same people, the fire department, the police, so.
Mine is even more like
I
just
totally agree with you.
just like a distribution, like a box of that park of Narcan. Like I would do it as simple as like a box. And then a poster by the box is like, I would go just distribute this is all I would. I don't even,
How can we get more available?
just accessibility. Now, I mean, it is over the counter, but it's kind of cost prohibitive. And so just just how everyone could have one if they wanted it to keep in their purse or their backpack.
So maybe it'd be a good idea to ask the mayor
Mhm.
and see if she can be for that.
Yeah.
I would think,
I'll stand out with you at a park and hand out Narcan if they want to do an event.
We can do it like, yeah, and even we can do it in HYA or, sorry. Yeah, all these acronyms, but like, I think also the focus, and this is where I would actually focus more with the school. Is that I think that's the place where I would. Harm reduction.
Is it not harm reduction?
Harm reduction has got a whole, there, I would not use the word harm reduction.
What is the phrase I'm looking
Overdose prevention.
for? Overdose.
Harm reduction is like safe use supplies, which is probably gonna be too controversial for the city.
But like, city college, like that would be a great opportunity.
Yeah, yes,
So-
just,
So in more practical terms, is this like a proposal for something you'd like to see like our team take on? Is this like an event you want to see
and none of
the
the,
board host or what?
I would- I think my outcome that I would love is, one is to see, partner with the high schools would be the first one, is to see like who we could champion within the high schools to do those trainings, because I think that would be the best to come from the high schools and come from peers. And then my goal would just be have multiple sites of distribution for Narcan in public spaces.
Are you, do you do those trainings?
Yeah.
Like, could you?
I do it all the time. I give Narcan.
Like I'm wondering, well, we have Cam, like, could we train the yak board on how to use Narcan?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Could we train the young people on the yak? On how to use Narcan?
I mean, I don't see why not unless their parents don't want them to.
Maybe we just got like a more mission, so, dude,
Yeah.
it's like CPR.
Yeah, I think just really, I mean, the small and the big would be like, do we talk to the lifeguard, like when they're getting lifeguards, CPR training? A part of the American Red Cross is they do add Narcan to that training of like how to use the AED, how to use CPR. Narcan is part of using that, but like, just talk with the lifeguards, hey,
I agree, I think I'm just thinking like, what can we do in the next like 3 months?
3 months is, one is we could just see like, who could we partner to get free, there's a lot of nonprofits, but
Like,
just does the county have it? Who can do it? Could we set up boxes? And then get permission from designate the sites of distribution. And then get at,
What about just also like city staff, like they're gonna staff up for all of like through Parks and Rec or summer programs or whatever, which would be folks that are all being trained in CPR and like could we just. Like, that would be a simple connection, right?
yeah, and parts like,
I'd like, just can we make this part of the training for this year's seasonal staff?
I think potentially then I could connect you to have like a conversation, because you are so well versed and trained in that, and you'd be like, hey, here's an idea, and
Yeah.
like see what they say.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, cause maybe it is that easy, maybe
Yeah.
they're about to onboard a ton of new staff that. Not just staff like it's not just like the lifeguards, just like there's all these camps that are starting, so, and they work with little kids, but they're in the parks all day.
I just don't like, it is the easiest thing to use. They're like,
I
just,
agree.
I think having it around is also one of those big things.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I don't know, sorry, Road Home, I did not run that by you guys. And I guess for our group, does that feel appropriate within that bucket?
I think that it's not necessarily, I don't see it tied to anything like specific that you have here. But when I think about your committee, the way that we've described it, we just created this manual. When we were describing your committees, the road home committee is the one that focuses the most around the content of our division, which is housing, homelessness, and human services. So to me, this falls along human services and also along, yeah. So I don't know. But you do have, yeah. I'll leave it there. So do you all have other comments or?
Well, just one thing, I'm like kind of aspirational, what I'm hoping for. So you working on the survey for age friendly, is there's going to be components of it inserted that actually address the other social issues. So have you been discriminated because of age, because of gender, because of race? So those other things will be there. Have you experienced domestic violence? Those type of questions are going to be in there, hopefully, at least among, the senior population. It'll inform work. Yeah, there'll be some housing questions too. And so that's, which is more of an aspirational thing. I'm hoping that it really informs other work, like community needs assessment and stuff, so.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, that the community needs assessment may inform how you all are gonna build out your work plan. This next fiscal year. Sorry.
Oh, I was thinking this survey would inform this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yes, it goes both ways, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what about you, Gerald? Do you have any thoughts on what's working well for your committee or other things, gaps you wanna fill?
Well, it'd be nice to have somebody else to work with on it, but that's okay.
So I just wanna comment on both of your committees. I did inform the new board members that per what I understand the rules of the shrub, it's at the president's discretion to place board members in committees. And that they would either be on your committee or your committee, because you're each of a committee of one. So road home is full and there's a slot to fill on DB and a slot to fill on A3H. So we will not be alone.
Well, as far as where we are in what we've done so far, we've gotten through the whole city resolution. We've still not met with the Black Student Union. We haven't done really ACCYF meetings. I mean, apart from their standard meeting, we haven't actually engaged. At least me personally, I have not engaged with them. Same thing for LGBTQ. So those are things that I would like to see us move forward with, especially now as we're getting into the second part of the school season. This is the best time to really do it. We have not really engaged with the city of Davis on the hate-free city best practices. I'd like to revisit them again and have conversations with them this year. I think we should continue to keep that going. And so that stuff is left on our agenda that needs to be done. We've started to incorporate and link supporting existing community events, so that's already in the works. We're already moving forward with that. Library series, Friends of Alameda Free Library Partnership Lecture Series. We really did not get any traction for it, and I would like to think that we may have another option if we can't get the lecture series. we could start it with something that was mentioned to me earlier about a book program where we do a book every month where we discuss the book itself, and kind of a book club layer where now we can even get maybe the author to come in and speak and have that be the, if you will, pivot from being able to do the lecture series. The book club with the actual author is pretty close to that as you can get. And usually they're good books with real depth that we can.
That would be hosted at the library.
Yes, if we could work in partnership with the library, I think it would be a good place and a good space and a good use of our supportive skills.
I think it might be hard to get 12 authors, I'll be honest.
I would start with one and be
Okay.
thrilled to get one. I had one that was mentioned to me earlier that I will talk about later, but essentially, it would be a great opening volley for the Black History Month period, where we would be able to have them speak about the book that they're currently writing or have written, and kind of let people ask the questions. It's really, again, I don't know how much I can really describe right now, but I can just say
Yeah.
it's the kind of thing that makes sense to me because it's important for people to know about where we came from, the history of how we got here. And good storytellers are the ones who are able to tell those stories in a meaningful way that other people understand. And so this seems like a good opportunity to describe that, how we got here. Just as a pivot.
Yeah, so would that be next month? Because
Yeah, February, why not? It's not like it takes that much to really put together. It's more of a getting the folks from the library to commit, which is something that I'm sure we can work on. Friends of Alameda.
do you mean like a reading? Like I'm trying to understand.
Maybe reading excerpts, maybe a bit of a conversation where.
Around the specific book that you're thinking about?
And then,
Library does things like that already.
yeah,
They do, and they also book like once.
sure,
Yeah.
but not beats a failure but a try. You never know who you
No,
have.
I always try, Joe.
There you go.
No, I always try.
We never know how many friends we have in strange places, so.
Yeah.
Do what we can to try and move the ball forward. So
Mhm.
I'd be interested to see that as something to do, especially because it's an author who's doing work around predominantly Black history and things like how formations of certain organizations became what they were and how they were part of it and what the things were that were going on at the time. And it gives kind of a, as Bernie would say, it kind of gives the information of what went on at the time so that it gives us a framework from which to work today.
Yeah.
I know, Gerald, this is a little bit off topic, but as an aside, I took my two sons and my daughter-in-law to see Black Spaces. Finally got there.
You got there.
Yeah, so,
Yes.
It's still up.
Wasn't it amazing?
yeah.
Yeah, it's still up.
It's still up.
It'll be up till March.
When you're done with can we go back just for a second to the Alameda's against hate section again?
I was gonna say, if we can't get it together for February, maybe it's something we could put onto the calendar for the end of the year to prepare for the next.
Well, we have the United Against Hate at the end of the year,
Right,
but something
like
I
it was
was,
February, like if we wanted to do it for the following February.
see, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I was hoping to kind of fill in that whole lecture series thing because that was something that I thought would be of value. And yeah, maybe we won't be able to get it in for February, but I'm still willing to try and get it in. If they already have it, if they're doing something, we should try and be supportive of it. As part of
Yeah.
United Against Hate. And I know that they don't always necessarily talk about those types of topics in their monthly book clubs. So I just
Yeah.
thought this would be a good way to get us going.
The other idea I was thinking was, for the summer, we usually have an intern. Part of the challenge around finding like a speaker, it's just like making a lot of emails. So I'm not always able to do that, but an intern might be able to do that. So we may like look for someone more specifically this summer that can help us find some speakers, or like make some contacts, so like we can start building out a lecture series. Or
I think that there will be,
give a
Do you think there'll even be a possibility for election series next year? If they really weren't doing it this year, I don't see the tide turning in that way. We would,
Yeah,
we would.
I think I need to understand a little bit more of like what the vision was. So it was have like inviting people with a certain expertise at the library to provide like a talk. Okay, so I know that the library, I believe already does that, but where it's not in partnership with us, and I'm assuming we would want it to be in more theme with what we're working on.
Yeah, the French Alameda Library or Alameda Free Library, or a combination of the two. I think we could probably get one or
Yeah.
two.
Because I built, so we had kind of like a couple like, what is it called, like starts and fits, where we had like a list of people, and then we would try to reach out to them, we wouldn't hear from them, couldn't find the contact, and then it just like petered out.
Right.
So I think that's part of where we would need a little bit more support, is in getting a list of people and contacting them and booking them, etc.
I would just say it's doable. We might be able to get something done. So I will defer to you to check with them, and if you want, I can continue to reach out to folks to see what they can bring forth. I think it would be an opportunity. I would prefer not to miss if we can get it.
But also, if I think the speaker, like, maybe it's the speaker that's the focus and not necessarily the month. Like,
Sure.
Like if we can get a great speaker and happens to be that they're only available in April, like, woo.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's more of a, you gotta start somewhere, you gotta draw a line and see if you can make it to that line. If you can't make it to that line, readjust that line, you move it to the next goalpost and you work it from there.
Are you talking about the 49er offense right now?
The hurry up offense, no, I wasn't doing sports metaphors, but it is a good idea.
If you have an idea, just let me know, and I'll try to help you make it happen.
Thank you. That would be for that part right there for.
Okay.
I was trying to answer one of your questions though, but how do you go here? So go back to the questions again, and what were they, let's see, what, can I object this? Oh, yes, number 3, in answer number 3, I think is number 1, and I'm not even gonna say. Revised AUH resolution to city council for consideration approval. I think we need to get that started working on, and I know there's gonna be a second person, but we can always have a third. I'm willing to help. Craft the wording and stuff, but I think that's really important to get something through.
I agree. Again.
The wording is done.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all
it's
done.
done. It's
just
just
the
getting
vote.
it through, getting it past the mayor. And then to city council. That's really all it is.
Okay, so I know that I have the most recent version. Could you just forward it to me, make sure I have it, are we? Is this supposed to stay within our group at this point? Can I use it for talking points if we want to try to legislate with some of the council members about that's going?
The direction I received was that I was not gonna go against. So I don't have further directions this time. That was the conversation and the direction I received as staff a few months ago. And it was changed into a proclamation, and we moved forward with proclamation.
Do we have other follow-up steps for the proclamation that need to be worked on?
The attorney said though, oh, okay, so not a resolution, but a council report. That's what was suggested by the city attorney.
I believe is.
Yes. So it would have to be, so we would need the format of, so I don't need that, I actually don't need the old resolution, that's what so we actually need to just have that format and template and move it into a council report template. That's what we need.
The action plan would be something similar to what we reviewed for,
LGBTQ, was that the one that they did the action plan for? They had one.
yes.
Yeah, that was the one.
Oh, yes.
So would it be a similar format as,
It's
would
not-
that be,
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
No,
would that process of gathering input be facilitated by us, or is that facilitated by city staff or city council?
We can talk about it, but yeah.
I was gonna say, if it's facilitated by us, then we should put it agenda.
I think it's still,
And it seemed like it might be too big for just your group. If it's a whole action plan.
I'm always open for United Against Hate. That's a simple subject for me, low hanging fruit, anybody who can bring in more value, I'm totally for it. So yes, be happy to have 2 or 3 or the whole board if you need be.
Yeah, because the advantage of that over a proclamation is it's the council actually votes for it, so it's kind of like a resolution in that. Council like has to adopt what you put in there, so it gives it teeth, yeah.
Right.
I was just wondering if
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good reminder, thank you, I forgot about that.
Can you go back to the plan?
I have a quick question for the road home. Is there gonna be a new 5-year strategic plan?
Yes.
And it's starting this year
Yeah, I believe so.
with input from the community again?
Yeah, we have a really aggressive timeline. We're hoping to have it drafted in April. No, the needs assessment be drafted by April, by the fiscal year.
July.
And is it gonna go through the same strategic planning process with community events and engagements? The last one took like 2 years to build.
I don't know yet. Yeah.
I was wondering if we need to build those things into our tenant.
And remind me, this plan goes till when? When was the year?
That end of the year.
Oh, this one goes to July. Okay, fiscal year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so June 30th. Thank you. So, but your question, Sam, sorry, I think my brain is frying.
Sorry, we're going back and forth through all the committees.
Yeah. Because you were asking, it sounds like you all did some community events around the larger strategic plan.
This was even before my time.
Okay,
So but they did like, it was a very long, like, I wanna say 2-year process for the 5-year plan originally.
we don't plan to take that amount of time. I think that's. It doesn't feel like we're starting from scratch because we're building off of the previous 5-year plan. So we are doing the community needs assessment, which is supposed to be like our due diligence around, which will feed into the strategic plan.
Okay. But then will the strategic plan go back out to the community like as well?
Yes, it has to go to council, which counts as like our. What is the form? That's the opportunity for like
Public comment. Okay.
And this is a little non-sucker, but can we also just orient ourselves of what everyone's term is? Because how this relates to these plans? When do you, I think you guys are both the most senior
I sunset at the end of this term,
and the term goes till,
June.
so you sunset, do you sunset?
I can serve another term if I want to.
Gotcha.
We both.
Oh, okay. You both can serve.
both your terms.
But-
They are eligible for an additional 5-year term, should they choose to do so.
Gotcha.
And then they'll go through the process. The city clerk, check with the city clerk, she'll reach out to you once you're close.
We're the only ones, right?
Yeah, everyone else has at least a year. I have a paper, but I don't know that those are accurate.
I didn't either. I was like, June 30th, 2027 seems right,
Yeah.
but I don't think it is.
We have their term
One
over
year.
on the website. Which probably-
Oh, we do?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was like, I think.
I just wanted to
Just,
put
I think I
my
reappointed
my-
last year, so
aspirations
that means
aligned.
definitely
with
would be 2027. Yeah.
Well, you look disappointed when I just said.
No.
Well, yours might be correct because
I
they're
don't have
finishing
enough
somebody
pens
else's
to be-
term.
And
And you are fully, yeah. That might be correct, Joe, because you finished like a partial term and
I
it's
thought it
a
was
full
two-
term.
Thought it was a 2-year term because I did the first 2 years and then the new one was supposed to
Yeah,
be 4.
we'll double check.
Please, thank you. Make
Okay.
sure I'm reading it right.
So,
You guys wouldn't believe me.
how do we all feel about this item since we do have Cam and I know we wanted to go back to the pit? What do you think? Scott?
Oh, are we done with item?
If you all have other questions, if you all wanted to consider.
If we're back to it.
I feel quite pleased with what we've accomplished.
Yeah.
I think they were very smart goals. Kudos to Bella for really helping us with them.
That was a good retreat.
Well, if we're done with this item, we can go back in time to item 4A. Wait, no, 4B, sorry. Item 4B, a presentation on point in time, hit count. By Camille, yes. Homelessness manager for the city of Alameda's Housing and Human Service Division.
Take it away, Cam, we came back to your item.
Thank you. Like I said, I'm so sorry. I was in class and we went over late, so I'm sorry. I just wanted to present about the pit count and just let everybody know that we're still looking for volunteers. We have about 50 right now, and I'm looking for a few more so we can do a full citywide census of everybody experiencing unsheltered homelessness within the city. Um, what this would mean would be that the people who volunteer would come with us on Thursday, January 22nd, 2026, bright and early. I'm asking that everybody start showing up at about 4:30 so we can start at 5, and we can start counting folks that we either observe experiencing homelessness or folks who are interested in actually talking to us and conducting or completing the survey that Simtech has created. Simtech is the creator of the Counting Us app, and they have a bunch of questions, or not a bunch, but questions that they ask people about things like where were they last housed, how long they've been homeless, what type of homelessness they're experiencing, whether it's unsheltered or sheltered homelessness, if they're a household. They ask questions about mental health, substance use, physical disabilities, or disabilities of any kind. Um, and other kind of very more personal questions. But when people feel like they're being respected and like their intention is known about like why we're doing this, they tend to want to answer the questions. We have gift cards for incentives. We also have care packages that the Girl Scouts are going to be helping to assemble. And then we have some from like a Pee Wee baseball team or something that have already assembled some as well to hand out to people that we may encounter during that pit count. The pit count helps us secure vital funding for the city. The more people we're able to engage, the better we're able to plan out our homeless services response teams, and just our response in general. So we have 7 days to get it together if people want to volunteer. I have space on other teams, so I pretty much have the teams formed, and they're teams of 4. And I do have space on a couple of other teams for a few more volunteers. So if anybody wants to volunteer, please let me know. Just register through the QR code that you see on the screen, or at alameda.pointintime.info, and it'll take you to the registration portal. We pretty much have all the donations that we need as well. And whatever we don't use, we're going to use for the engagement specialist team that the city of Alameda does now have. We brought that in-house from what we previously contracted through. So we now have an engagement specialist team that has an engagement specialist supervisor who oversees the team. We have a pretty great team that's really engaging, no pun intended. And they have been able to locate quite a few people that we were not previously connected with. So that's always good. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me now, reach out. I'm available.
Thank you. Great. Do we have any questions or comments?
You said groups of 4 people would be doing walking together. Is that how you would be doing this year?
Yes. So we're going to have folks, they're going to drive to their census tract, but I'm asking that they actually walk the track if they can.
Right.
And it's going to be, I have them in teams of 4 right now, rather than 3, because most people said that they have 4 to 6 passenger cars and things like that. So, and we had enough volunteers to have a team of 4. So I'm waiting on a census tracts right now from Semtech to see how many tracks we have. And if we have more than 11 tracks, um, I'll move the teams from a size of 4 to a size of 3 to accommodate that. But right now there's 11 teams, and I don't know how many tracks we have within the city yet. And they haven't given us that information yet based upon all the known locations that we've submitted. But the expectation is that people walk the tracks when they get to their locations.
Are we doing 100% coverage of all the tracks in the city of Alameda?
Once I get them, I'll know if we have 100% coverage. Like I said, I haven't gotten the tracks yet, but I'm assuming we might, because they told me that the 90 volunteers that they had 2 years ago was almost overkill. And we have 50 registered right now. So we should have enough to cover most of the city. If I get a few more, I can make a few more teams, and then we can definitely cover the entire city.
I have a question more about data. I was looking at some data about point in time count 2026, and it's the known locations identified. And someone actually asked me about this. So for example, in Oakland, they have 735 identified spots. Makes sense, right? Hayward has 90 identified spots. San Leandro has 113. Alameda has 126. Despite being geographically and population smaller. Now, I thought maybe it was because we have less people who are homeless, so these are like almost like county individuals. But I'm not sure. Do you know why our number of locations are proportionally higher than anywhere else in the area?
Yeah, so just because it's a known location doesn't necessarily mean you're going to find somebody there. What the known location means is that we spotted somebody there, we observed somebody there, we engaged with them at some point in time, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're still there. So there could be duplications, and like, okay, so let's say Stacy, for example, I'm just making up a name here. Well, we discovered her on the base at 150 West Hornet. And then the next day, she was at 300 Island Drive, all the way on the other side of the city. That would count as a known location, even though it was the same person.
Right, and a known location has nothing to do with numbers either, right? So the 62 known locations in Berkeley could all have 30 people in each one or something.
Yep.
Well, here you could be individuals. Okay. So that's what I was kind of guessing was the right answer, but it's good to kind of hear it confirmed.
Yeah.
Because some people might look at that number and go, why is our number so big? Right? But people just don't look at things that deeply, a lot of times. So thank you for
and then keep in mind too that for known locations, they are counting all the different numbers of longitude, latitude, addresses, and things like that. And you could be at 2529 Eagle Avenue, and that would be one location. But let's say somebody pinpointed that same person and they were a block down. That would be counted as another known location. So that's likely what's happening in Alameda.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So if we have the repeating addresses, they're not going to count the repeated address. But if the address was like a block away, they're going to count that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Do we have any other questions? Anything from the public? We need to make sure we ask. Anyone has public comment?
We have no public comment.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your presentation and coming here this evening.
No problem. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully you get out soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Happy Thursday.
All right. And that brings us to, it's funny, we kind of talked about this already, but our 4D, which is our work group reports.
Before we do that, can we do the minutes now that Michelle is here?
Oh, can we do it? Okay.
Sorry.
That's right.
It's all
We
good.
can, and it doesn't need to be, this, Just, yeah.
Not maybe you should say your role then, because you're here, so now we can do it.
Oh, yes, and to let you know, I was at Kinder Info Night, that is why I was.
So we have item 3A, approval of the minutes for December 1st, 2025. I did actually put forth a motion to approve the minutes. It was seconded by Gerald. And we're gonna put this up to vote. All those in favor of accepting those minutes for December 1st, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None, passes 4-0. Abstain, great.
I mean, we don't get to say it was such a delightful meeting too.
It was a very delightful meeting. It was bittersweet.
Yes.
Um,
All right.
all right. Now we can go right to work group reports. This item is for board discussion only. There's no staff presentation. So we'll go directly to public comments.
There is no public comment.
Okay. Okay, this time it's open for discussion. Anyone wants?
You, Gerald,
Oh.
start.
Okay, well, we are currently looking for a new member, so I'm looking forward to opportunity to meet and greet the new member of the United Against Hate, the United Against Hate group. We are definitely looking for ways to get the resolution moved forward as an action plan. That was something that I have been talking about in recent weeks with people who were caring to listen. So I thought it was really important that we have the opportunity to do so. If there was anything else on the list that I should have remembered. It was a very short kind of a break there, a month and a half. So we did not really do a whole lot of work within that time period, but my goals are still the same. We're going to be moving forward with working with the ACCYF, the Black Student Unions, the LGBTQ community, and those are the goals that I'm looking for. That's the end of my.
Bernie, do you have anything?
We have the next task force meeting on the 2nd of February. The mayor is going to attend. And I think we're having a presentation there from the city attorney on charging domestic violence, misdemeanor
It's gonna be
violations.
the victim advocate.
But that,
The victim advocate will be attending to share about her.
and as I mentioned, I attended with Betsy and Shelby, I don't know who they were, the SCCYF, is that the leadership or?
Oh, that.
Youth advisory. We met with the Youth Advisory Committee, which I believe is a subcommittee of the ACCYF. Correct.
Okay, because there was 2 presidents and a vice president and.
And the secretary and other outreach specialists.
Okay, so, and discussed about, I think I've already said, discussed their interest in domestic violence, kind of what they would see, and, perhaps see if there's a way to change the task force meeting date so that we can have a youth member. And so that's really it.
All right, and then road home. Is there anything?
We don't have any huge updates. You guys let us know that the final report for the running home went to city council. I think we should put it on the agenda for this. Like a presentation. Yes.
Yeah, Simone, I was actually gonna put that as part of my staff update, or I did put it as part of my staff updates. But I can ask Simone to give the presentation that she gave at city council. I think that would be nice. A good idea.
And that's all we have.
The only thing I wanted to put on our radar too is. Given I thought how meaningful the volunteers, the celebration of the volunteers, I wanted to sort of think of what it would be like if I'm in town, I'd want to push for this to be in the Alameda parade and honor them during the parade.
Also, would it be weird if we, as the road home committee, sent thank you notes to count volunteers.
No, let's see what that would be written on.
So we could send them like, because it's hard to get volunteers at 5 in the morning. And I'm sure city staff don't have time, but we could probably send like. cards.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be lovely. I would put that on there.
You just give us the addresses and what they're.
Okay, yeah.
I have a lot of
It's
things.
very boardly.
Right,
I said it's very boardly.
right, it's very worldly to just be like, thanks, you guys are cool, that's a big ask of a volunteer.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
We had also talked about we should talk about some other things, right? Like pictures and thank yous of the volunteers at the library, that's something we're still thinking of.
Sorry, I don't know what happened to that.
I'll just bring it up in a nice. Thank you. That's like that.
Oh, and I'll be bringing a senior survey for review to the next meeting. Draft, so. With the hopes of having it happen in March, so. All right, we can go to anything else on this?
Yeah.
We go to item 5, the staff communications, the staff report in the city of Alameda's. Sorry, City of Alameda's Housing and Human Services.
I'm sorry.
That would be you.
I was still laughing about that. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, and alrighty, I am Vanessa and I will be presenting the staff updates for our division. So, update on the day center, after a competitive bidding process, a contractor has been selected. Marcon Builders have been selected to complete the day center relocation project, and the contract has been executed. We expect construction to be completed late summer, early fall. So we're really looking forward to that. We have finally been able to execute, after a long government shutdown, we have finally been able to execute our federally funded contracts for social service providers. We completed our 5-year progress report that was presented to City Council January 6th and it's accepted. We will be beginning stakeholder sessions to inform our needs assessment, the first of which will be later this month. The pig count is January 22nd, as we all know. We have a new interim city manager. So after a competitive selection process, the city council appointed Mr. Adam Pulitzer as interim city manager at the December 2nd, this 2025 city council meeting.
What, she left?
Mr. Pulitzer comes to, I should have added that on my last staff report, I'm so sorry. Mr. Pulitzer, yeah, our last day was mid-December. But it was kind of a quick, like, news was given in November.
You'd let us know.
Oh, great, okay. Okay, Mr. Pulitzer comes to Alameda with nearly 35 years of local government experience, including 13 years.
I think you're
Oh, okay, good.
sorry.
No side competition.
Sorry.
I thought it was the person.
Anyway, he has a lot of experience as a city manager. There are 17 below market rate homes that were sold from September to December, which I feel this is always like the last update that's like kind of snuck in at the end. This is a really big deal.
17, that's huge.
These are 17 below market rate homes that were sold to low to moderate income households. As we know in this country, a big way to create wealth is through home ownership. So there are 17 new households that now have that opportunity. So that's really and my colleague Michelle Berkovich, sometimes I put Michelle B and I sent it to the wrong Michelle B. She has just worked tirelessly, kind of behind the scenes, doing all the paperwork and the loan documents, kind of like an unseen part of the process, but so key. So thank you to her, other Michelle B. And that completes my staff updates. Thank you.
I don't know if you would know this or not, but did they supply a timeline for how long they think we'll have this city manager in there? Like, are they gonna plan to do it until the new mayor is elected, or they don't?
There's no way anyone would ever tell me that.
Well,
But
somebody do a durational period so that you can read through the long
no,
term.
that's a good question. So I don't really have specifics. I know that for interim, we were all told that they were gonna have, because when we were told that they were doing a hiring process, external for interim, that it was going to be very quick, and then as far as finding a permanent. Not so, that was less, that was more vague, but that they would be doing a hiring process, so I actually don't know.
And
Okay,
the person that was helped led the meeting, that's not the city manager that came to our meeting and led it, and was just amazing. Short hair.
Amy,
She's the assistant city manager,
Oh, gotcha.
so she's still here, so she accessed our.
Gotcha. Wow, she was great.
Yeah, she's great.
I thought she was the top notch.
She's easy.
You've met the city manager.
Okay, thank you for your report. And now we can move on to item 6, which is board communications, not agenda items. Anything?
Sure. I got an email from Diane asking if we would be interested in co-sponsoring with the Free Library a book for Black History Month. How could we? And so I told her I would at least bring it up as part of a conversation. The details that she gave me were that she has a friend who's got a book, and they were one of the pioneer recruiters for the NAACP in the South and the West, and they do a real discussion of the Black community during these time periods, and they would probably be a good place to start to give people an idea. So the question of whether we could do co-sponsorship with the library is a question that I think we want to talk about it for next month. That's something we can think about. It'll probably work out well.
Well, if you're talking about it next month, that would be too late, I think, right? Because that'd be into February.
Hmm.
Yeah, you probably want to do it like
Yeah, we'll have
the
to.
next week or so,
Yeah,
but. That's not library city staff on that thread. If you're trying to partner with the library, then we would have to connect with their staff.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, and that would be the goal here, is why she asked if we would be willing to co-sponsor. And I said, it seems like a really good idea. If we can work with the library, if we work with.
So does she have an event she's already creating, or what is the ask that, like, are we, what is this? To co-sponsor, but does she have the event already, or is she asking for us to start?
I believe she already has the event,
Oh, cool,
and
that
that,
makes it easy.
yeah, and that she wanted to know if we would be willing to go in as part of it. I can verify that with her when we finish. I'll get back to you for that tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds good. If you want to also loop me in, that makes it a lot easier.
It literally showed up on me today.
Yep.
So timing is everything.
Excellent.
Thank you. All right. That's all for me.
Any other communications? Okay, seeing none, we can move to adjournment, and we will adjourn this meeting at 8:35.